things of them, and I'll try and point out things that scouts screw up the most, so that you guys can try and notice them. But I'm just going to start from the beginning, go to the end, and then we'll go from there. So this is Elmer. He's a good boy, but he likes to escape. So with burros are prey animals. We are predators, which means that we naturally give off a like an energy or whatever you want to call it. So I like to section out burros into 3 different zones. And with that, I haven't done this in a year. Geez, this is going to be rough. And with that, so you're giving off this energy, right? And so if I'm facing them, that energy is coming towards my shoulders. I'm not giving any energy back here. So if I'm facing him and I'm above his shoulders, this is not a hard, fast rule, but in general, that's the stop zone, okay? In between his shoulders and about mid-rib cage, that's going to be his neutral zone, so he's not going to do anything, in theory. If I walk up into him in that area, from their mid-rib cage back, that's going to be their go zone. So if I'm in that go zone, they're going to go. So with that being said, when you go out to catch a burro, you're going to want to work as a team. Sometimes cornering burros, that helps, making sure that they don't really have anywhere to go, but also not clumping them so tight that they're going to run through you. So when I go and I walk up to my burro, I'm going to walk up in their neutral zone. So that's going to be in their shoulder area, like I just said, because in theory that won't make them go. If I need to stop a burro, I'm going to step in front of him. If I need to make him go, I'm going to step behind him. So this is a halter, really. He's feeling himself today. There's so much better than that. Okay, so this is a halter. So halter has different components to it. The 2 main ones is this this thing is the actual halter, and then this yellow rope, that's going to be the lead rope. The lead rope is what you're going to use to lead the burro. The halter is going to go over their face. The main points of your halter is going to be, you have this nose band, so there's a knot, and then two ropes. You have this big knot that connects to the lead rope. You have your double ropes is what I like to call them, and then your loop, okay? So when I go and catch my burro, like I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to walk up to them in their neutral zone. I'm going to stand for like 2 seconds. I'm going to have my halter and my lead rope. I'm going to walk up to him on his shoulder. I'm going to give him a big hug, and then I'm going to pass that. What is up with you today? Come here, bud.
This is exhibit A.
Elmer!
Remember that one was described as
There we go. Then I'm going to pass that lead rope under his neck. So you guys see how I actually don't have anything tied, but I'm still able to control him. So I've got that really up close to his neck. So we'll do that again real quick since he said I'm good. So I'm going to pass the lead rope under his neck. If you go over, it'll sometimes spook him. So now I have a way to catch him. Sometimes the scouts do need somebody to hold onto them for the other side. But yeah. Also, you want to do everything on their left side. They're all chained like that, so if you see a brand that's on their left side, that's the side that you want to be on in general, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead. I've got my halter. I'm going to have my loop, maybe, in my left hand, my double ropes in my right. And then you guys see those double ropes with those 2 knots right in the front there? That's going to be the nose band. Guess where the nose band's going to go? On their nose. Wow, insane, right? So I'm going to go ahead, again, double rope in my right, eyelet in my left. I'm going to just kind of make sure just that nose band is on his nose. Then I've got my lead underneath, okay? See how there's no double ropes right there? That's incorrect. And then sometimes they'll put them upside down, which I don't know how they do that, but scouts do that. And then so the next part is going to be the knot. Really all the knot is that we're tying is going to be a half hitch. But the main idea from it is you want to tie your half hitch on your eyelet, okay? If you tie it above your eyelet, it gets hard and difficult, and it's just try not to do it. So I'm going to go, whenever I'm tying this knot, I'm going to go through my eyelet. I'm going to make a 4. Is that a 4? Yeah, that's a 4. I'm gonna make a 4, and then guess where I'm gonna go through with that 4? Or with this?
With the 4.
Through the 4, okay? So now I have my little half hitch thing is tied, and then the halter is on. How you know a halter is fitting them correctly is it doesn't easily come over their ears. Doesn't easily come over their ears.
It doesn't hit their eyes.
Yeah, it's not in their eyes or anything like that.
It's not choking them out.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and it's not going to be choking them out. Okay, so when I want to lead my burro, so I've got him set, and when I want to lead my burro, I'm going to have a bite in one hand, and then I'm going to have just the other rope in my other hand. You don't want to ever wrap a lead rope around your hand. It's a good way to get rope burn. It's a good way to get dragged. Just don't do it. So when I want to walk with my burro, I'm going to look where I'm going. Because if I were to be sitting here pulling on this, what am I telling them to do right now?
Stop.
Okay, so let's not do that. So when I want to walk with my burro, I'm going to look where I want to go, and I'm going to walk. Sometimes they don't want to walk, and they're really good at just kind of stacking their vertebrae, and they sit there and they'll stop. So if they do that, which is something that happens a lot with scouts, making them take a step to the side to kind of try and get them to go helps a lot. So making them take a step to the side, because if they're just pulling on them, they're really, really strong, and they won't want to go. We'll go over a little bit more in leading in a second. What is up with you today, bud? Do you mind holding him? Since he's being a little too. Okay, so I've caught my burro. Now what I need to do is I need to pack him. So I've got my equipment right here. First we're just going to go over saddling, then I'm going to break for questions, and then we'll go over panniers and stuff like that. So I have panniers, that's where the stuff is going to go. I have my tarp, which is a tarp. I have my saddle, which is this wooden thing, and then I have my my saddle pad. Thank you, guys. So as you guys can see, I'm using my tarp right now to protect the rest of my gear. Oh no, it's raining, and we're at Cons at Baldy Skyline. What do I do? Wow, all my gear is protected. Okay. Obviously, it's not completely waterproof, but it just helps it a little bit. So with my saddle, this is how you guys as staff members probably won't ever see the saddles like this, because scouts, this is like one of the hardest things. They don't ever tie them up. But if you look at my pad, can I help you? I love you. I love you. So if you look at my pad, I obviously have 2 different sides. One side has leather, one side doesn't. I have 3 of these half moon little crescent things, okay? I like to think how I keep it straight in my head is the leather is extra protection, which I don't know if it actually is, but I just like to think of it like that. And so they need extra protection in certain areas. And so one of the areas that they need that extra protection is going to be right here on their withers. It's the highest point on them. Yeah, I'm going to do it in a minute. And then also the side where the cinches are going to go, okay? So I'll go over that in a second, but those 2 sides are important. This side is going to be facing away from the burro. This side's going to be facing the burro. So whenever I put this pad down, I'm going to make sure that the side facing the burro is facing away from the ground. Because if I go, some of our pads have little fuzzies on them. If that's under, underneath the rock gets stuck, then there's a sword burro, and I can't use them for a really long time, and it's no fun. Okay? Speaking of sword burrows, let's go ahead and make sure our burrow doesn't soar. So I've got a curry comb right here. This curry comb is going to be how we're going to get rid of all this wonderful hay and clumps of hair and all the fun stuff. So when you're brushing a burro, you're going to want to follow their hair. We're just going to be brushing where the saddle goes. We're going to be making sure that we get anything that will sore them or anything like that, because a sword burro is an angry burro. And so when I brush him, the saddle is going to go about mid-withers, so where that blob is, not actually a brand. So where the brand is, all the way to about, well, most of their back, actually, because this is a pack saddle, not a normal saddle. And then I'm going to go halfway down his ribs. I'm also going to brush where the cinch goes. The cinch is going to go right under his armpits and about mid-belly. Then when I walk behind my burro, I'm going to stay close, because if he were to try and kick me right now, he wouldn't be able to get a lot of momentum going. If I were to step to where he could get a good kick. I'm right on the end of it. There goes my kneecap, and that's really not fun. But if I stand away from him, I did a really bad lead up to that. I just realized that. If I stand away from him, he can't kick me. So when you're walking behind a burro, stay close to them. Stay either super close to them or super far away from them. There we go. We'll just end it at that. And that's not talking about that. Whew. It's fine. It's a warm up, right? So I'm just going and I'm brushing him. I'm brushing him. We also want to get their shoulders and then the front of their neck as well. That's where our breast collar is going to go. Cool, now I have my curry done. Curries are going to only be at the camps where burros are going to be stopping, so y'all have a set of curries. They stay there, they live there, okay? Don't let scouts take them. So I'm going to go put this back where I found it, at the camp that I'm at. Thank you. Spot where I found it. Okay, so now I have my saddle pad and my saddle, so we're going to go through the saddling. First thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lash line off. And I'm going to put it with my packing stuff. So the lash line right now is being used as a holder, so everything's nice and neat. Cool. And on my saddle, I have two different sides. I'm blanking so much on your. What's your name?
Sierra.
Okay. Geez, that was rough. We're struggling. Sierra, can you tell me which side of these crosses right here are higher?
Right.
That side, okay?
Yeah.
So a good indication of what side's the front is the higher side. But that's not always the case, but you know, they can start there. The next indication is where the gear is on the saddle, and I'll go through that once I put the actual saddle on. So as I was saying earlier, so we've got these two half sides, or these two half moon leather pieces, and then we have this one half moon leather piece. I'm not actually sure I said it, but can anybody guess what side's gonna go towards his withers, towards the front? The two half moon pieces or the one half moon piece? The one half moon piece, yep. So when I put the, holy geez. When I put the saddle pad on, I'm gonna wanna cut his shoulder in half. Like I said, a lot of these guys have brands. In general, that is in the middle of their shoulder. So usually I tell scouts to go ahead and cut that shoulder in half, cut that brand in half. So I have my pad on. If I end up putting my pad on a little bit further back, I'm not gonna drag it up because then that's really annoying and it like messes up all their hair and it does have potential to sore a burro. So when I put my pad on, I'm gonna make sure I scoot it back so all that hair is lying down nice and neat. Okay, and so now, again, with figuring out which side is the front and which side isn't, these right here, these wonderful little ropey things, those are called the cinches. Those are gonna go on the right side of the burro, okay? So, like Sierra said, wow, the 6-month stroke is rough. The cinches are gonna be on the right. This side was the higher side, so we know that's the front as well. Did that make any sense?
Yes.
When I go, what side am I gonna be doing everything on?
Left.
The left side, exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the saddle on the left side. When I put that saddle on, I'm gonna wanna make sure that, I can't remember how I explained this part.
I want to make sure that it's about the front of your saddle wants to be about 3 fingers away from the edge of that saddle pad.
Cool. I don't remember how I did it. And so now what I'm going to do, I've got my saddle on, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to undo anything. I want those cinches to be on the right side of the burro. I have these wonderful little leather pieces. Those are called my latigos. The real big tell is if your breeching is in the back, if your breeching is trying to go over the burro's head, your saddle's on backwards. There you go. Boop. No? Okay, cool. And so with the breeching, when we do our burro demos, this is the breeching right here. When we do our burro demos, we'll alter this for the scouts. They really shouldn't be touching anything on this back section. If they're going to be touching something, it's going to be one of these side straps to put the tail through, okay? But they don't need to be altering anything. Y'all don't really need to be altering anything as well, because we'll set that while we're doing our demos. And then I also have my breast collar. So when we put on the saddle, we're going to go from the most secure thing to the least secure thing. So the most secure thing on this type of saddle is going to be your front cinch, okay? So your front cinch, I will show you how to put that on. My transition is a little rough. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab that first little ropey thing. I don't know how to explain it. So I'm going to grab that first little ropey thing. This one's the back cinch, so I'm going to make sure I have the front one with the front latigo. Okay, this part is super important. We're going to loop this through a couple times. When I end, I want to have 3 layers before I tie my knot. That's 3 layers before I tie my knot. Okay, so on the bottom ring, we're going to be going away from the burrow. On the top ring, we're going to be going towards the burrow. So you guys see how that's going away from the burrow? So I'm going to go ahead, pull that away from the burrow. And then what way am I going when I go on the top ring? Towards the burrow. Okay? And how many layers do I want? 3. How many layers do I have right now?
1. 2.
There you go. Okay? And then what direction am I going to go on the bottom?
Away.
Away. Okay, so now how many layers do I have?
3.
How many layers do I want?
3.
Cool. Before my knot. Okay? So now I'm going to tie what's called a half Windsor or a Texas T, okay? I like to call them a Texas T because you make a T and it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So when I'm tying my knot, I'm going to first go towards the burrow and then out a side, okay? Doesn't matter what side, whatever is happy, makes you happy in your heart, I don't really care. So I'm going to go out a side and then ready, here's why I call it a Texas T. Wow, so intense, fancy, right? So now I have my T and then I'm going to go away from the burrow on the other side. So I'm going to go towards the burrow, go out a side, make my T, go away from the burrow, the other side. Okay? And now where do you guys think I'm going to go? Down, exactly. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dress that knot. Scouts don't like to dress knots. I don't know why. Okay, so now I have the front cinch on. Now I'm going to move on to the next, or the, yeah, we'll just go with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie it. Maybe, what did they do? I don't know what they did. Okay, when I tie the front cinch, that's going to be your tighter cinch out of the 2. You want to be able to fit at least 3 fingers on their sternum, okay? So their sternum is on the bottom side, okay? This is not a sternum, that's a rib. A lot of scouts like to check it there, but right on the sternum, okay? You want to fit about 3 fingers in. Okay, and then the back cinch we're going to tie on the same as the front cinch, but it is going to be a little bit looser, okay? So I've got my bottom ring. What am I going to be doing? Which way am I going to be going? Towards or away?
Away.
Away, okay? On my top ring, which way am I going to be going? Towards, exactly. How many layers do I want?
3.
3, okay, I've only got 2, so what am I going to do on my bottom ring?
Away.
Away, beautiful. So now I've got those 3 layers. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie that Texas T. When I tie that Texas T, which direction am I going to start with?
Away.
Towards the burrow. And it doesn't matter what side I go out of. No, and then I'm going to make, maybe. Then I'm going to make a T, okay? So I've got that Texas T. Now which direction am I going to go? Away, okay? And then I'm going to go through the little loop. Going to dress it up nice and pretty so that his favorite little Jenny goes and asks him to prom this year. It'll happen. I promise it'll happen this year. Okay, so now I have my front cinch and my back cinch on. I want my back cinch to be about 4 fingers. You still want them to be able to breathe. And then the front cinch is going to be about 3. Right? Cool. So now I have my breeching. Okay? We're going to pretend y'all are scouts. Are y'all going to touch the breeching?
No.
No. Okay, cool. So like I said before, the wranglers will adjust that. Y'all as staff members might have to figure out what they have detached to try and get the tail through. So usually it's going to be this piece right here. So the little butt strap, he's ready. He's like, I know what I'm doing. This little butt strap, the thicker side attaches to the butt strap. You guys see how that happens? And then I don't even know what this one's called.
I don't either. Just,
The thin butt strap.
I don't know what it's called.
Why'd you when you
just
go
a
to
piece
school.
of rigging. That's all
Okay,
it is.
so then this piece of rigging, you see how it's thinner, and then it attaches right there. These are the two pieces that they're gonna detach, and they're gonna mess up on. But Elmer's a good boy, so I'm gonna make sure, or so I don't need to do that. So when I go and I pull his tail out, because this is uncomfortable, we need him to be able to poop freely, I'm gonna be close to him. The tail is an extension of their spine. We don't want to be yanking and pulling on that because I promise you, you don't want your tail to be, your spine to be yanked and pulled on. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get, just get a nice little curve. Again, I'm not going to pull on it, and I'm just going to kind of wiggle that tail through. Okay. Yeah, I won't say anything about that. Okay, cool. So I have my front cinch, my back cinch, and then my breeching. Now what I need, my least secure thing is going to be the breast collar. With the breast collar, that's going to go on the front. I'm going to do this wrong. So what side are we going to be doing everything on? The left side. So you guys see how that was on the right side, so I just switched it. Sometimes scouts will do that, it's fine. And so with the breast collar, we'll adjust on this side, and then they're going to be connecting on that side. But the idea of it is you want the breast collar to be even. You don't want like a buckle sticking in their neck, because then that's a sword burrow, and then that's no fun. So when I do the breast collar, I'm going to go under, maybe, under their neck. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten it to where it's not up super tight on them, but it's also not below the point of their shoulder, which is the highest, like the most pokey outy part of their shoulder. And so kind of one of like the ways that you can follow along with it is you're going to have a fist. You want to be able to fit a nice even fist with your thumb facing the burro's chest, okay? Well, you guys are trying these. Sweet, so now I have my burrow saddled. And so now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and pack my burrow. Does anybody have any questions about the saddling section? Yes.
When doing the bottom straps, it was
The cinch?
The cinch, yes, it was 3 fingers like this.
3 fingers like this.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, thank you for clarifying that. And then, so 3 in the front and then 4 in the back. Okay? Any other questions? No? Sweet. Okay, so this next part, I am going to need some volunteers. And pack my burrow. So I've got panniers. Okay, in my panniers, I'm going to have, I'm not going to have fuel. I'm not going to have liquid. I'm not going to have pokey poke things. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Okay, yeah.
You don't want your burrow catching on fire.
Yeah, or like the water swishing around and stuff like that. So when we pack our panniers, usually we tell scouts to put, don't put personal things in it, just in case like the burro decides he doesn't want to do his job, or something happens and they aren't, we have to go get the burro. We don't want somebody's, however expensive phones are to be in there. So like trail meals, tents, stuff that we can easily replace is what we want them to have in their panniers. So we want our panniers to be even. We want our panniers to be even. A good way to check that is you go ahead, have a couple of people pick them up. Okay, I know I'm right-handed. For some reason, my left arm's stronger, so it feels somewhat even now. But to double check that it's even, I'm gonna go ahead and switch which ones I have. This one still feels heavier. Okay, cool. Actually feels a lot heavier. So since that happened, I would go and I'd alter everything so they're even, but he's gonna have it on for all of 2 seconds. So, yeah, panniers. You don't want more than 50 pounds. On the burros, they can carry more, but scouts be scooting and all the dumb stuff.
And they're supposed to last all summer without
I
sowing,
love you.
so
Do you smell the green?
we don't want unusable burrows
Yeah.
for that reason.
Okay, can I go ahead and get 3 volunteers? Actually, I only need 2. I'm gonna just stand here until somebody walks up. There we go, I got 2. Awesome. So usually we have 3 scouts. You wanna go ahead and take the paniard? So usually 3.
About the panniers.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we like to also try and pack the panniers the same. So like we start with 110 at the bottom of each, and we just want to make sure that they're packed similarly, so they're kind of same density. So it's often we'll have crews have like three meals in each side, and then if that's not enough weight, there'll be 3 more on each side. So you want to balance it with like chopping on crew gear, like you set aside 110 for each side, sleeping bag on each side, something like that. It's a good way to pack it. And then you start by packing with 110. We're going to pack each pannier pretty much the same way.
And so in this next section, this is when we're going to start working on the left side of the burrow with all the saddling, or sorry, the right side of the burrow. With all the saddling, we're going to be on the left, and then for the packing, that's when we kind of get more people involved and stuff like that. Awesome, so if you want to go ahead and get on the other side of Elmer, and then you're going to be on this side. So this part's kind of hard because we're going to be doing stuff up on the top. Oh, what are these talking?
Bucks.
Bucks, so we have 2 bucks. And when we put the panniers out, they do have grain in them, so he's just trying to eat the grain. So when we put the panniers on the bucks, the straps, I'm gonna go ahead and put the strap. So the straps are gonna be hooking onto the opposite side that the panniard is on, okay? So this panniard right here is gonna be hooking on this way. Does that make sense? And then your panniard's gonna be hooking on the other way. So we want to do this next section as evenly as possible so we don't alter the weight or alter the saddle. I know, you want the grain. And so we have buckles on one side and then we have it flat on the other side. Let's use our brains and think of what side's going to be on the next to the burrow, the flat side or the buckled side?
The flat
The flat side. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to walk up towards the burrow. And then we're going to have a wonderful conversation about looping the, who's going to loop their straps over the bucks first, who's going to do it next, and then when we're going to drop it down, we're going to do it nice and easy, making sure it's all even, okay? So if you guys want to have that wonderful conversation, just kidding, no one's down. We'll go ahead and bring them in. If you want to put yours first, and then the third person, it's kind of easy to help them to put those straps over. And then, what is your name?
Justice.
Justice? So Justice is doing a wonderful job by keeping the weight off of the burrow right now, which I definitely didn't go over. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do that. So both of my volunteers are holding their weight up off of the burrow, and then they're gonna have another wonderfully beautiful conversation. They're gonna slowly lower it down evenly, okay? Awesome. And so now we have, thank you guys. Wait, no. I need at least one of you. That's fine. Cool. So now if we look at our straps, see how they're not kind of snugged up. So we're just going to make that nice and pretty. And then we're going to do what's called setting them. When we set the panniards, we're just kind of making sure everything's nice and snug and all even. So how we're going to do that is some of these panniards have bars. They can hold onto the bars. Some of them don't. If they don't have bars, they can hold onto the straps, okay? Usually you want to get 2 people who are the even weight. Obviously me and Justice are not, but that is a-okay. We'll still make it work. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull down evenly, probably, I don't know.
You're gonna kind of sit into it.
Yeah, and that's why you want,
Time.
even. We're just going to put like 10 pounds of weight. Okay. And so that'll set it. So we're gonna go ahead. So on 3, we're gonna hold down hold until I say go up. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and go up. 1, 2, 3. And so it's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. So we did that evenly. It actually wasn't that even, but whatever. So now I have my panniers on my burrow. If I have, do we have any pots? I forgot those. Thank you. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put a pot right in the middle of our bucks. It's a wonderful place for that. They don't have to put their pot there, but they can. They can put their bear bags and their bear rope in there. Does anybody have any questions so far? The pots, and if you can't find one, I'm just gonna go on. So at each location there is water for the burrows. I believe Flume Canyon, you have to pull it from the stream and put it in the bucket. I don't even know if we're using that one this year. Do you know if we're using that one? And then so once you get to your camp at night, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna feed them. A fourth of a bale? Holy, yeah. You're gonna feed them a fourth of a bale. If there are multiple burrows, if you have multiple burrows, or if there are multiple burrows in the pen, go ahead and spread those quarter bales out This one burro will kind of go dominate. Damnation's really likes doing that, but they'll hoard all the food so nobody else can have it. So you're gonna want to get a fourth of a bale. When you get to your camp, go ahead and untack them, which I'm gonna go over in a minute, and then you're gonna put them into their pen. Take off their halter so that they're naked. The only thing that they should have is their chain, which he doesn't have one right now. But the only thing that they should have is their chain. And then, that's that for what you should do at night. Oh, and then all your gear should go into the, there's usually a shed or something along the lines of that. But go ahead and keep those there. You can take your panniers back to your camp. But that's really just up to you. And then, I'm blanking on this part. When you walk with your burros, you're going to want to have your, yeah.
Do we feed the burros or do the crews feed the burros?
I'm treating y'all as scouts, so y'all are so the crews feed the burros.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at one of the camps that they stop at, it wouldn't hurt to actually check if they're actually feeding them.
Yeah. The scoots be scooting. When you're going and walking, did you find them? Okay, cool. I'm just gonna move on.
Surrogate?
That's too big.
Yeah.
It'll survive. Awesome. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna need 4 volunteers. Not different volunteers, so we can stand here all day. When you're done, I did tighten the cinches. So they do like to hold in air. A lot of these burros have been doing this longer than, maybe not y'all have been alive, but longer than the scouts have been alive. And so they do inhale air, hold that, and then once the panniers go on, they do release that air, and that's a good way to get your pack to roll. Okay, so I've got my lash line, they've got their tarp, so we're gonna go ahead, our tarp, I like to think of it as our rain gear. It's gonna kind of give you some protection. It's also gonna cinch everything down. So when we go with the tarp, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna come back here. Some of these tarps do have a seam in the middle, so that seam is just gonna line up with the back of their spine. They're in like perfect positioning.
I'm moving it so everybody can
Okay.
see.
So if I could have, yeah, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna bring that tarp over their butt. We're gonna make sure it kind of goes, we're gonna make sure it kind of rubs across their back so they do know that it's there. We're gonna go ahead and make sure everything's even. Sweet, and then usually, I have a scout come up and they make sure that it's even. Really just what your panniers covered. So on this next part, it's even, whatever. What is your problem right now? So now what we're gonna do is, I did not lead up my joke very good. This is a tortilla. And then we put it over. What do we have now? Burrito, haha, funny. I'm really struggling. So I heard you guys wanted to apply to Taco Bell. Taco Bell. So, welcome to the Taco Bell learning course. Today we're gonna roll our burrito. I really messed up on my joke. We're just not gonna do it. Okay, so we're gonna roll our tortilla onto our burro to create a burrito. It used to be so much better. So how we're gonna do this? You guys just step to the side real quick. Just so that I'm still using you. There you go. So we're gonna make sure that we're even. So I'm gonna have something on this side. And we're gonna be rolling our tortilla towards our burro. So you guys see how I'm rolling towards the burro? There's nothing, it's a nice smooth surface. That word. See how, if I were to do it this way, there's a nice little pocket for water to collect. We do not want to do that. We want to go towards the burro, okay? So we're gonna go, pretend somebody's on that side wrapping it evenly with me. So now we're gonna wrap it evenly. And then now we're gonna tuck it underneath the panniers. When I do that, I can pull my panniard out. I'm not gonna lift it up because we just set and spent all that time doing that. So I'm gonna pull it out, making sure that the weight is still on the burro, and then I'm gonna go and shove that nice and neat in there. Okay, if I can have my 4 volunteers, if you guys wanna do that, we're gonna do that on the front and on the back. We're gonna make sure that the front moves forward together. We're gonna make sure the back moves forward together, or whatever it is. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna roll. Yep, sometimes it's really fun to get the crews to say, roll, roll, roll. Awesome, and you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna roll until you hit the edge of the pannier. Yeah, so when you tuck it, remember you're gonna want to make it nice and neat. That's where my like funny Taco Bell joke comes in, but you get it there. Yeah. And then you're gonna pull your pannier out. Remember, you're not gonna lift it up, and you're gonna tuck it in nice and neat. So pull your pannier out. Okay, then you're gonna tuck your tortilla underneath that pannier. Just like that. Okay, you would almost get hired at Taco Bell. You would get hired at Taco Bell, and so would you. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm good with y'all for now. Well, I'm good with y'all. So this is where my burrito joke comes in, but I ruined it. So now I have everything nice tucked and neat. When I tuck my tarpon, I'm going to make sure I'm not tucking it underneath the pad. If I tuck it underneath the pad, that's a good way to store your burro. And then now the part that my brain is currently blanking on.
Let's see if I can remember.
Do you want to do it? I know how to do it. I just can't explain it right now.
Yeah, let's kind of do it.
Fun, like, you want me to hold them?
Yeah.
I can hold it. If you're going to do this part.
Let me see if I remember.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think I remember it.
Could I have 5 volunteers? Different volunteers, please. 5.
And that's just so you can secure the tarp and whatever you have on top of the burro onto the burro. And you're going to have a staff or somebody on this side of the burro, on the right side, the side that you're not supposed to be on, but for this, you're supposed to be on. And you're going to kind of pass, Alex, okay, my name's Alex too. You're going to pass this cinch underneath the burro. And I'm going to pass this rope over to you, okay? And yeah, you have it right here. You're going to kind of loop it in here. And this hook is going to be facing towards the back of the burro, so if you have any sticks or anything that catches on the hook, it won't top it off if you're going forward. And then what you're going to do, you're going to pass that back over the burro. And this guy over here, he's going to kind of cinch it a little bit tight. And we're going to make sure that the cinch on the bottom of the burro is centered. So you're going to have somebody in front as well. If you want to come over and make sure that last cinch is centered, you're going to kind of stand in the front.
You can look at the ring and you can look at the hook. So it's kind of slot down. Is it centered?
Yeah. All right.
So the hook is underneath the pannier. See that now? A little bit better?
Go down a little bit more.
Okay. Okay.
It's okay. You try.
We're going to make sure that's pretty tight. Don't cut the burro in half, but make sure it's pretty taut. So, first of all, it's going to go back, front, back when we're tying our diamond hitch, okay? And can I have somebody on each quarter of the burro?
I remember this one.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it. If you want to explain it.
I got it. So now, when I'm starting my diamond hitch, I'm going to go ahead, take another bite. We really like bites here at the ranch department. I think it's because our wranglers like to bite people, not because our horses like to bite people. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a bite. Holy jeez. I'm going to loop it around, no, yes?
3 times,
Slack in
yeah.
the back. Have your slack line at the back and then you pass it
No,
under
shoot,
the
shoot.
back.
Give me 2 seconds.
Oh,
Okay, I am right. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a bite with my slack. Okay?
Meg, you're twisted on this side.
It's fine. I ain't too worried about it. So I'm gonna go take my slack. I'm gonna wrap it, take that bite underneath 3 times. I only did it 2. I don't care. This is a demo. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna separate my maybe. So normally it would be over a pot. Since I don't have a pot, I am putting it over the box. If there's a pot, it doesn't go over the box. Okay, so I'm going to separate it out. So now this is where I need people on each side of the burrow. I'm going to need people in each corner of the burrow and then somebody in the back. Okay? So what we're going to do, we have a wonderful acronym here at the ranch department. It's called, maybe it's not an acronym, but the way that we're going to remember this is Best Friends Forever Burrows, okay? So the best is back, friends is front, forever is front, burrows is back, and then I like to do a little exclamation point, which is you. So your best, your friends, forever, burrows, okay? So where am I going to start with my rope? Back. That's best. So you're going to do that. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is when we're wrapping this around, we're going to make sure that if we do have a pull, that our rope is going behind the pull, the little pull thing, and really just in between the panniard and the burrow. Then we're going to go underneath, in between the burrow and the panniard, and then we're going to do that all the way around. Each time we go over the front or the back of the burrow, we're going to make a corner, okay? So this is called a diamond pitch. How many corners does a diamond have? 4. How many corners do you think we're going to have? 4. Wow, logic. We love it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. What are we going to start with? Back, okay? So we're going to go back. The hook is right, or the pull, thank you, is right there. So we're going to go behind there. We're going to make sure it goes in between the burrow. Yep, and then so we have best. Now where is it going to go? Front. Friends. Okay? I'm going to make sure it goes in between the burrow and the panniard. And then what are we going to do when we get to the front or the back of the burrow? What are we going to do when we get to the front or the back of the burrow? What are we going to make? A corner. It's oh so complicated. You're going to feed the rope through this part right here. So through. That's over. This is through.
Okay.
Yep. So basically all he's doing is taking the rope and going like, he's making a corner. Y'all see it in a second. Okay, so we have best, friends. What's next? Forever. What does forever mean? Front. Okay, and so we have our corner. So we have 1, 2, 3 corners. How many corners do we want? 4. Okay, so let's continue. So front is going to go, the pole's right there. You're going to go in between the burrow and you're in the panniard. And then you're going to go, nope. You're going to go down. There you go. And then so front, and then where are we going to go? To the back. And so we're going again in between the burrow and the panniard. What are we going to do when we get to the front or the back of the burrow?
Make a corner.
Make a corner. So if you want to go, that's fine. You're good. So if you want to go ahead, put that through there. So now we have a corner. And then if you two want to step to the side real quick. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's count our corners. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. How many corners do we want? 4. Cool. We have a diamond. Now we need to go ahead and we need to tighten it. You're going to need my exclamation point. Okay, so can I have my best friends forever burrows back in their place? And so again, we're going to go in the same rotation and we're going to tighten it. So back is going to pull down to tighten. The front, best is going to pull down. Friends is going to pull up. Forever is going to pull down. Burrows is going to pull up. And then my exclamation point is going to pull down, okay? And we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that 3 times. We're not actually going to do that. We're going to do it once. And then that'll go and that'll tighten it down. This is something that scouts do have a problem with, but we'll figure it out. He can step to the side a little bit. He's a good boy, but still. So you're going to be pulling on this section right here. And you're going to be pulling up. You're going to be pulling down, and you're going to be pulling up. Okay? We're going to communicate when we do this. If we're all yanking it at the same time, nothing's going to get anywhere. So again, we're going to go in order, down, up, whatever I said before. So if you want to go ahead and do that, so you're going to pull.
Down. Up. Down.
I didn't even explain that part. Have you guys seen these before?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they said when they were done pulling, that's when they did that. And then my exclamation point, cool. So we did that 3 times, crazy. Okay, thank you guys, I appreciate your help. So now I've got this rope. My diamond hitch is tightened down real cool. I'm going secure my diamond hitch, make sure all that tightening is still in there. So I'm gonna make a half hitch, 2 half hitches, which I'm blanking. You make a 4 and then you do a thing. We all know how to tie a half hitch. Okay, cool. If you don't, apparently I can't tie one today. So we're gonna pretend those are 2 half hitches. Then what I'm gonna go ahead and do is now I have all this lead. We don't want this hanging out, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take another bite. Like I said, we really like our bites here at the ranch department. I'm gonna put it under something. Then I'm gonna make what's called a daisy chain. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna punch my alien, grab its guts, pull them out. Punch my alien, grab its guts, pull it out. Basically, all I'm doing is feeding bites through bites. Okay. And then when I get towards the end, I'm just gonna put my bite. And then I'm going to stick it through right there. Really, it doesn't matter how it's tied up as long as it's up. But this just does make it easier for travel, for wranglers. This is how you're going to be tying your first aid bags and your curry combs to the cow horses. And so, yay, I have that done. Cool. Knots apparently, I don't know. I think Summit just ruined me for teaching knots. Thank you, people who laughed. Who worked with me there. So now I have my burro. He is packed. Before I untack him, does anybody have any questions on that part? That was really rough. I'm super sorry. No? Awesome. I've gone. I've made it to Poblano, or that's the only one I can think of right now. Miranda, Hedadine, Ponio, all that fun stuff. Well, actually, no, it's Poblano, Hedadine. Do you guys actually have anybody that stays there? No? So I've gotten to Poblano. We're just going to pretend like that's the only one. So now I'm at the camp. I'm going to go ahead. I need to untack my burro. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to do everything in reverse, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, undo my horrible half hitches. I got 1 half hitch in. I don't really know.
Meg, can you show how to do a half?
You make a 4. You make a 4, and then you do that, and that's a half hitch. Yeah, I just, for some reason, can't do them. Ever since we, yeah. So then I'm gonna go ahead. You guys actually got that tight. I don't know how, but cool. Then we're gonna go ahead, undo everything. All my gear, I want to make sure I do not leave it on the floor. If we ever get any rain, it's a good way to get everything dirty, and then in turn, it will soil your burro. Then I'm going to go ahead. Usually I have scouts help me with this, but we're going to take it off nice and slow. That was so slow, so nice. And then remember, so this is going to be my rain gear. It's also going to be my protection for the rest of my stuff. Holy jeez, you guys folded this. Nice. I fight off COVID. Crap in my mouth. Okay, cool. So now I have my panniers. Remember, when we put these on, how did we do it? Evenly, at the same time. Beautiful. How are we going to do it now? Evenly. Beautiful. Okay. Oh, thank you, my fellow scout. You're so nice. Thank you, third fellow scout. You're so nice. Okay, on 3, we're going to lift it up. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, thank you, third scout, for helping us pull those little things off. Whatever these are called, the straps. Awesome. Oh, I should probably take this from you. So now, I've unpacked those. Cool, cool, cool. So now we have the saddle. Do you guys remember the last thing I put on the burro for the saddle? The breast collar. So what do you think the first thing I'm going to take off is? The breast collar. When we are untacking, we go from least secure to most secure, okay? So we take the breast collar off. While we're doing it, we're going to kind of prepare ourselves for packing the saddles. Y'all won't really ever see this. My PCs and CDs and ACDs, y'all will. They suck at this part. I don't know why. They never can get it in their heads. They horribly suck at it. So we're gonna put our breast collar over our saddle. We're gonna go north, south, east, west. Which that saddle is, whatever. Basically, you want the front the front section and the back section of the burrow first, and then you want the cinches next.
Ladder goes last.
Ladder goes last. There you go. Okay, so I've gone north. So what was the next thing I put on? Whatever. What's the next thing I'm going to be taking off? The breeching. Okay, what do I need to be careful of when I'm touching the, like working with the breeching? The tail. And what else? There you go. And kicking. So I'm going to stay close to him. So what I was talking about earlier is sometimes scouts will take off these back pieces to try and get the tail through. So a lot of times these are the pieces that don't get attached back on there, okay? Which I already said that. I think I'm dying. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna curl his tail. And I'm gonna pull that back over. I'm gonna make sure everything's in the middle of my saddle, make it nice and neat. I'm gonna go ahead and twist it. And again, lay that nice and pretty. So see how everything's in the box? All my leather is in the box. Okay, what's the next thing I'm going to be taking off? The back cinch. Is this the back cinch? No, this is the back cinch. Okay, what side am I going to be doing everything on? The left. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to untie that Texas T. Pop quiz. How many layers before I tie my knot? 3. After I tie my knot, there's actually 4. Okay, so when you guys are, if you guys ever look at them, it should have 4 when they're tied. But before you tie it, it's 3. And then, what direction do I go when I'm on the bottom ring? Away. What about the top ring? Towards. Beautiful. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys a beautiful magic trick. This magic trick is really cool. Coolest thing I do in life. I'm going to go ahead. With one hand, I'm going to grab about a third down. With my other hand, I'm going to make a bite. I'm going to make my bite going towards the burrow. You guys see how that's going towards the burrow? Yeah. What direction is my bite going now? Away from the burrow. So I'm going to make a bite going towards the burrow. I'm going to kind of keep this hand right here. And then, so I'm going to bite towards the burrow, feed away from the burrow. So now I have these 2 wonderful little bunny ears, okay? So that means after once I untie my knot, are you guys ready? Ready? This is my cool magic trick. Okay, I'm ready to tack up. Wow! Cool. Yeah, pretty interesting. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that Texas T or that half Windsor, whatever you want to call it. So I've already gotten towards the burrow, so it doesn't matter what side I go out of. No. Okay, now what am I going to do? Across. Make it T. Now what am I going to do? Away or towards the burrow? Away. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through that little hole. Cool, so that's all nice and pretty now. Okay, what do I need to do next? The front cinch. Before I take off my front cinch, I'm going to double check. Make sure everything is undone from him that needs to be. And then I'm going to go ahead and take off my front cinch. Okay, now for my magic trick. Which way am I going to make my bite? Towards or away from the burrow? Towards. Which way am I going to feed my burrow? Or my bite? Okay, now I have little bunny ears. What knot am I going to tie? Texas T. Sweet. So out of side, over, and then away from the burrow, and then through the little hole. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take my, I like doing the latigos first. It satisfies my brain for some reason. So now we're just folding each side. Everybody does it a little bit differently. But if you kind of stick to the north, south, east, west, you get the idea of it. So we're going to go fold that. Now is this nice and pretty? No, we're going to go ahead and just fold that over again. Sweet. Hi, fellow Scouty member. When I take this saddle off, do you mind grabbing the pad for me?
No.
Okay. What side are you going to put facing the ground?
I'm going to put the top facing the ground.
Thank
so
you.
Don't get dirt on the bottom.
Thanks. And then can I have that lash line?
Oh, yeah.
Right there. You guys want to go ahead and come a little bit closer? Again, this is part of that section that the scouts never get, but you know what? We're just going to try anyways. Wranglers, this one is the one that you're going to be doing about 1 billion times, so go ahead and start learning it now. Okay, so we have the lash line. Remember how when we had it before, the lash line was attached and keeping everything together. I have my cinch, my lash line cinched with the little hook, and then I have my lash line. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. How I'm going to start this is I'm going to put my cinch. Oh, jeez. put my cinch around my bucks. Then I'm gonna make another bite. So now see how it's kind of starting to hold everything together. And then I'm gonna take my lash line. I'm gonna wrap it 3 times around the wings. They're not actually called that, but these things. Okay, so that's one wing. Blades, wings. I don't know. I ain't go to school for this.
Bars.
What are they?
Bars.
Bars. Okay, cool. Just the side pieces. So we're gonna wrap that 3 times, making sure it's nice and tight. 2, 3, and then now what do you guys think I'm gonna do?
Do it on the other side.
Do it on the other side. Absolute insanity. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead. Once I get those 3, we actually just have 2, but whatever. Now once I get those 3 wraps on each side, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna figure 8 along the bucks. Wranglers, you will see this done about 1 billion different ways. Just redo it. Awesome. So then I'm gonna go. Once I have about 3 feet, this is not 3 feet. We're gonna pretend it is. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna make another bite. After I do my figure 8, so I'm gonna make that bite. I'm gonna go underneath, feed that bite through, and then ready. So maybe. Look, I have a nice little handle. So cool. And then when it gets thrown around by wranglers, it doesn't die. Yeah. That's it. Thank you.